Chanakya, he was a learned scholar and teacher at the great University of Takshashila, was known across the land for his wisdom. A man of peace, he had no desire for power or wealth, only the well-being of the kingdom. Long ago, in the great city of Pataliputra, there was a proud and arrogant king named Dhananand. He ruled with wealth and power, but cared little for justice or the advice of wise men. He was using the tax money of people in gambling and enjoying with women. At the same time, Alexander the Great was about to take over the whole world. Chanakya was deeply concerned about this matter that he may also invade in India. He immediately decided to go in Patliputra kingdom to advise Dhananand on national security matters. He went to Patliputra with some other great philosophers and intellectuals. When they entered the palace, they saw everything was so luxurious, but the people of the nearby village was too poor. They questioned this to a villager. He explained everything to Chanakya. That villager said, "We are unlucky people. Our king is selfish. He takes high taxes, but didn't spend a single penny on us." Chanakya became a little bit sad. They entered the courtroom of the king. The king welcomed them all. King said, "Oh dear Brahmins, welcome. Please tell me what you want from me. Are you came here for donations? I can donate anything you want." Chanakya said, "I didn't came here for donations, but an advice that you should follow." The king said, "Tell me what you want me to do." Chanakya said, "Oh dear king, you should save your country from the invaders. They can attack any time. You should use the people's money in their welfare, not for your own enjoyment." Dhananand was too arrogant. He laughed at Chanakya. Dhananand said, "You fool Brahmin, keep your advice in your pocket. I am unbeatable. I am strong enough to defeat Alexander the Great." He kicked Chanakya in the public. He took the advice as disrespect. Chanakya's brain opened up. Chanakya was not expecting this type of behavior from the most powerful king of that time. Chanakya became very much angry after this. He decided to destroy the reign of this cruel king. He left the kingdom. He started planning about how can he make the country united and strong again. This was too difficult for a monk. He began searching for a leader who could help him achieving his goal. One day, Chanakya was going through a small village. He saw some kids were playing battle game. One of them was playing the role of the king. That boy was leading his army confidently. Chanakya got him. Chanakya approached that boy. His name was Chandragupta Maurya. Chanakya offered him the role of the Emperor of United India. He said that I can make you the Emperor of the Akhand Bharat. You will be the king. Chandragupta smiled. He replied, "Are you a fool? I am just a servant of the dictator Dhananand. I am only good in acting. It is better that you should choose somebody else." Chanakya replied, "No, you can do that. You actually don't know your potential. I'll train you. I'll make you strong. Believe me, you can." Chandragupta replied, "It is impossible. We don't have any army, resources or money." Chanakya said, "I'll collect all the necessities. You just have to follow me." Chandragupta was not agreed, but Chanakya convinced him after a few days. Chanakya had a vision of a united Bharat, a free land ruled by justice, not tyranny. He convinced Chandragupta to fight for this dream. Standing before a sacred fire, Chanakya and Chandragupta made a powerful promise. Chanakya vowed to guide Chandragupta in every step, while Chandragupta promised to dedicate his life to freeing the land from oppression. This was the moment their journey began. Chanakya trained Chandragupta in every way possible. He taught him how to fight, plan wars, and rule wisely. More importantly, he taught him how to think like a leader. Through hard work, Chandragupta grew stronger and smarter, ready for the battles ahead. After training Chandragupta in warfare and leadership, Chanakya began gathering an army. He traveled to villages, towns, and forests, meeting farmers, hunters, workers, and former soldiers. He spoke to them about the suffering caused by foreign rulers and corrupt kings, explaining how Chandragupta could bring fairness and freedom to their land. His words gave hope to the oppressed, inspiring many to join. Some came out of anger, others out of hope for a better future. Slowly, their numbers grew. Chanakya and Chandragupta trained them with discipline, teaching them to fight and think like warriors. These weren't just soldiers. They were ordinary people fighting for their land and families. With their growing army, united by a shared goal, they were ready to challenge even the most powerful rulers. In 326 BCE, Alexander the Great, known as Sikandar in India, came to conquer the land. He had already defeated many kingdoms in Persia and other regions. Now he wanted to expand his empire into India. At that time, India was not united. It was made up of many small kingdoms, each fighting to protect itself. This made it easier for Alexander to attack, but also harder for him to control the land. Chanakya, a wise teacher and strategist, saw Alexander's arrival as a big danger. He knew that if Indian kings did not unite, Alexander would easily take over. But getting all the kings to work together was not easy. Some of them were too afraid of Alexander's powerful army and chose to surrender. Others decided to fight alone, which weakened their chances. One of the strongest rulers to resist Alexander was King Porus. He ruled near the Jhelum River in the northwest of India. When Alexander's army crossed the river, Porus met him in the famous Battle of the Hydaspes. The fight was fierce and bloody. Porus's soldiers used elephants to attack, which surprised Alexander's men. But Alexander's army was very well trained, and they eventually defeated Porus. Even after losing, Porus refused to bow down to Alexander. Impressed by his bravery, Alexander let Porus keep his kingdom. Although Alexander won the battle, his army suffered heavy losses. The unfamiliar terrain, the monsoon rains, and the resistance from local fighters made things very difficult. Chanakya also played a key role during this time. He encouraged the local people to use clever tactics like hit-and-run attacks to weaken Alexander's army. He told them to cut off their food supplies, making it hard for the soldiers to continue fighting. After months of battles and struggles, Alexander's army grew tired and frustrated. They had been away from their homes for many years and were not used to the tough conditions in India. Finally, Alexander's soldiers refused to march any further. Alexander had no choice but to turn back. He left some of his men to control the territories and began his journey back. With Alexander gone, Chanakya focused on uniting India to prevent future invasions. After defeating Alexander's forces, Chanakya and Chandragupta, full of confidence, decided to attack Dhanananda's dynasty directly. They believed their earlier success meant they could defeat anyone, but they were wrong. The Nanda army was much bigger, stronger, and better prepared. When Chandragupta's smaller army fought them, they were completely defeated and had to run away to save their lives. This failure was a big shock to them, and it showed that they had underestimated how powerful Dhanananda and his forces were. They realized that winning against the Nandas would take much more planning and effort than they had thought. After being defeated by Dhanananda's powerful army, Chanakya and Chandragupta retreated to safety and began to rebuild. Chanakya traveled across villages, towns, and small kingdoms, convincing oppressed people, local rulers, and former soldiers to join their cause. Meanwhile, Chandragupta trained the new recruits, building a disciplined army. To weaken Dhanananda's empire, Chanakya sent spies to spread distrust in his court and disrupted supply routes to cut off food and money. One of his most cunning moves was using a Vishkanya, a young woman trained to poison enemies, to infiltrate Dhanananda's inner circle. This created fear and suspicion in his court, causing division among his ministers. Chandragupta's army gained small victories through ambushes, which gave them weapons, resources, and confidence. Over time, they grew stronger as more people joined their side. Chanakya also formed alliances with smaller kings, who provided soldiers and support. After years of preparation, they launched a final attack on Pataliputra. Using clever strategies, they divided Dhanananda's army, weakened his defenses, and ultimately defeated him in a fierce battle. Dhanananda was captured, and his rule ended. Chandragupta took the throne, establishing the Mauryan Empire and marking the fall of the Nanda dynasty. After the Nanda dynasty ended, Chandragupta Maurya became the ruler and started a new chapter in Indian history. With the guidance of his mentor Chanakya, he brought different regions together and built a strong empire. His leadership set the stage for many great achievements in the years to come. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.